You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Holy shit. There's no Mikey tonight. Where's Mikey? You guys know where the fuck Mikey is? No?
He's at Wienerlicious Strip Club in Mackinac City.
Perfect.
Took his kid to a male strip club for a field trip.
We got a lot of shit to talk about tonight. Mikey's not here. Nobody really cares. We're going to talk about NXT TakeOver 25. We're going to talk about Moxley's interview. We're not going to bombard you with fucking advertisements all the time, although we might. I don't know. Fucking Bully Ray and a bunch of other shit. We're going to talk tonight here as we break the ring down.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. The cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah. Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
So we use the same plugs, just different songs. Like in the same order. Yep.
I like it, though.
No, I do. He needs to add an NWO on in there, though.
Hey, this is professional wrestler and professional podcaster Colt Boom Boom Cabana.
My name is Killer Cross.
This is The Smoke Show, Scarlett Bordeaux.
What's up, guys? The Alpha Machine, Brian Cage.
This is Ryan from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Sadly, you are not listening to The Art of Wrestling, but you made a decent choice because you're listening.
You are now listening to...
And you're listening
to Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking down the ring. Bring it down.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
It is damn true. Mikey is out of the building tonight, and we're here to fuck this show up as much as we possibly can.
You know, you really took that away from me, because tonight, instead of being Smitty, I was going to be Mikey.
We can edit that. We can make an edit. That's the beauty of it. We can do whatever we want.
I'll finally be Z for the first time in like 2 months.
Well, at any rate, we are your ring crew.
Smitty. Fuck you. I'm the one and only Smitty. That's Z. He's retarded. He's retarded.
I'm the whole fucking Joe.
And I'm Snick the Dick. And we're here. We're going to talk about a lot of shit tonight. We've got NXT TakeOver to talk about. We got the hottest thing in wrestling right now, in many people's opinion, Jon Moxley, and another interview he did with Wade Keller. And
didn't he do it with Lowe's? Or what was that Home Improvement?
It might have been
Wade,
Home Depot.
Wade the Plug Keller.
I think Mickey D's is in there somewhere.
I don't know, but by the time it was done, I knew exactly what Lowe's spring special was. And it will forever be embedded in my head. Like every 10 minutes, it just replays in my head now.
I wanted a hot dog from Home Depot.
Well, yeah,
like bad.
Big Red Hot. Yep. Would be great.
I have Wade Keller's like entire life story like burnt into my brain now.
Yeah.
Well, we're also going to talk about Bully Ray and some shit that went down over the weekend at, what was it, at Ring of Honor State of the Art. And then Raw and fucking SmackDown, I guess.
Do we have to?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
No, we don't. We'll see how far we get.
But yeah, so NXT TakeOver was Saturday night. You know, always a great pay-per-view from NXT. I mean, their 25th anniversary, 25th pay-per-view, whatever.
Network special. Whatever. It's the 25th takeover.
Yeah, it was definitely worth the price of admission for you subscribers. $9.99. We had Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. There was an NXT Tag Team Championship match. That was a ladder match with Lorcan and Birch with the Street Profits Undisputed Era and Forgotten Sons. NXT North American title with Velveteen Dream and Tyler Breeze. The women's title was on line with Shayna Baszler and Io Shirai, and the NXT Championship with Johnny Wrestling and Adam Cole, baby. What do you guys think? Smitty, what'd you think? What'd you think? Let's start with you.
Yeah, no, I've been here for a while. I thought it was great.
Bad thing.
It was great. Like you say, NXT always puts on a great network special. Every match in there I thought was pretty good. I love the fact that they gave some depth to Io Shirai toward the end of her match. My favorite match on the card, even though I know people keep praising Gargano versus Cole, my favorite was Dream versus Breeze.
Yeah.
Because I love both of these guys' personalities. And what Dream is doing now and when Breeze came back, it seemed like he's not lost a step from when he left NXT to the main roster. And I love the respect that these guys showed each other at the end of that match as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I say, there's nothing that's not been said about Cole and Gargano that I can't repeat. That I won't say that won't be repeated already. I will say that has not been said already. And
this is why we don't let you talk.
Shut up. And then Riddle, Riddle and Strong was a great way to open up the show too. And I bet on Black, unlike some people.
Of course you do.
For tag teams.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with a lot of what you said. I really thought that that the show stealer was definitely Gargano and Cole.
I don't know, man. Roderick and Matt Riddle was great. In fact, I wish Mikey was here because he was saying, it was either last week or the week before that, he's not a fan of Matt Riddle. And I think it's I think he was talking more of a gimmick thing.
Sure.
Because he cannot be talking about his in-ring ability because every match he's had in NXT thus far has been amazing.
Yeah.
Joe, what about you?
My favorite match probably would also be Riddle and Strong or the tag team match. The latter match was pretty insane. Got to give it up to Kyle O'Reilly, man.
That dude fucking took a beat.
Dude, that poor guy.
Kyle O'Reilly was the Finn Balor of that match.
Dude, he went above and beyond what Finn Balor did. I mean, we all saw the pictures of the aftermath of his back, and I can't even believe the doctors there let him continue like that.
I was gonna say somebody said in the group chat that was
especially WWE
reasons.
doctors figure they put the kibosh on that quick.
Yeah, somebody said that was one of the reasons why Undisputed Era didn't win that match.
Well, no, it was
also Bobby Fish re-injured his shoulder.
Yeah, that's why he came out in a
sling at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I said that first. Like,
are you saying they changed the finish during the match?
No. See, Fish was injured at a live event for NXT going into it.
Yeah, I'd said that.
But he wrestled, so I was like, okay, it's probably not a big deal. But then after the Street Profits went over and then he came out at the end of the show in a sling, I'm assuming it's a lot worse than it was. And you already had Roddy in a match, so it's not like you can, switch it up for the tag match.
Yeah, you can, because don't forget, Brock, look what they did with the Money in the Bank match.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm upset because I picked Era to win, and I picked every opposite of every tag team for
I pretty much
all the
nailed
fucking
that
picks.
besides like two things.
Yeah, well, who won that card? Who won that scorecard so far? Who did?
Well,
who?
We'll go from the bottom to the top. Let's do that. So Joe, I feel bad saying it, with 35.
Yeah, this is by far, I believe, throughout my entire history on the show, my worst performance ever on a pro wrestling scorecard.
I always seem to kill the NXT card. Always.
Yeah, he's gotten better than me. Originally, NXT was my thing.
Yeah.
Well, Mikey, with his absence here, finished with 40. Smith Griddle with a 52. And
I love that nickname.
I told him that too.
That was 53, but whatever.
I ended up with a 56, and then Z photoshopped some information onto his scorecard and finished with 57.
Fuck you.
Because I looked at the fuck he scribbled on that paper. Like, what the fuck is this?
Okay, you should see every scorecard I fill out by the beginning of the show. I will fill out the scorecard. It'll be all nice and neat. By the end of the show, it'll have a bunch of scratch offs. It'll have fucking my name doodled on it 800 fucking times if you didn't notice. I don't know. I just go through, and as you guys talk and make sense, I'm like, no. And that's part of the reason I picked Era, though,
My last scorecard had beer me written on the back.
Yeah.
And I was,
but
holding it up to you.
I originally picked the Street Profits because I've been watching NXT because fuck all the other brands right now. NXT is an hour long and it's amazing every time. And they were building the Street Profits up, so I figured they would go over.
They also were building the Forgotten Sons.
No, they haven't really been building the Forgotten Sons.
Yes, they have.
The Forgotten Sons lose every time. The Street Profits, on the other hand, gave the War Raiders a run for their fucking money. Like, they really put them over in that last match.
I want to disagree with, I know Mikey's not here, but he said in the chat that the Street Profits don't have a good work rate. Like, I couldn't disagree with that more. Those guys are uber athletic. When I think of guys that don't have good work rates, I'm thinking of, like, pylons in the ring, the guys that can't move, like Hulk Hogan at 55 years old or something. That's a guy that doesn't have a good work rate.
I think Mikey was speaking more to the fact that, like, yeah, they were the Evolve champions and they do a lot of stuff you don't see on TV, but they haven't been on TV. I think that's what Mikey meant by work rate. I don't think he meant, like, their ability.
When I think work rate, my work rate means what they do in the ring.
Well, right. I mean, yeah, I agree, but I think that's what Mikey meant by it, though.
And they were also probably the most over tag team since the Raiders left on NXT.
I thought they looked good in that match, and the crowd definitely was really all in.
They were behind them,
yeah,
100%.
With those fucking red cups and.
Yeah, they were fun. They were a lot of fun.
Did you see the Triple H picture with the red cup afterwards?
No.
So pretty much they all did like a 3-man toast, like when they holding the titles. And Triple H had a red cup as well.
That's cool.
So that was pretty cool.
I thought the women's match was pretty good too.
I said, I love even.
Dude, I'm a fan of Io Shirai, man.
Fuck yeah.
I've always been
especially
a fan of
after that chair moonsault.
Yeah.
Especially after that picture of her butt that you showed me.
Oh, yeah, that one too.
Yeah,
that was cool too.
Yeah, she looked really good in that match, and
her aggression afterwards.
That's what I was just
going
to say. I really liked the aftermath of that, and I hope they continue that feud.
They're going
forward. Yeah.
They have to because she's like. Honestly, like I know they need Baszler to build Duke and Shafir.
Well,
so she's not going nowhere soon.
I think Shirai will go over.
I don't think Duke and Shafir have anything to offer.
But once again, this is why they're going to keep Shayna on NXT for a little bit longer.
But they do. But they only have one thing to offer, and that's
Shayna Baszler,
a Survivor Series match. So you have Shirai go over at the TakeOver before SummerSlam, and then Baszler and Shafir and Duke come up after SummerSlam, and then you work your way into a program.
4 horsemen.
Well, depending on what Sasha's status is at that point, 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen at Survivor Series.
I think Ronda would still be on her impregnation vacation at that point.
Whatever.
Impregnation vacation.
You'll have an impregnation vacation.
And man, Candice LeRae, when she came out with that kendo stick, man, she beat the fuck out of them.
Well, like if you watch NXT for the last couple of weeks, like Shirai has done the same thing to him.
So Mikey put in the chat about the Street Profits. He said, it's their first ever takeover. He never said that it was a bad work rate. He said they are good in the ring, but just a cup gimmick.
A cup gimmick got them the title, so.
Well,
sometimes. I mean, look at Zack Ryder. Their never give up gimmick got them the Raw tag team titles that you haven't seen on TV since WrestleMania.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! You know what? I fucking forgot.
See, that's the problem.
You can never be defeated if you never featured.
You have them win the Raw tag team titles, and then you still don't put either one of them on TV. If you tune in the main event, you might see the Raw tag team titles.
I think last time I saw them, I was watching. I just happened to have my network on and watch Superstars or something like that, or main event, and they were on.
That's sad. That's really fucking sad.
I fell asleep with it, and I just woke up, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah, no, it really is sad that he's watching Superstars
in main event."
Yeah.
Well, I fell asleep watching a live feed of the network, and I just woke up to main event, and they happened to be in the ring. That's what Cedric Alexander is too, and I'm like, "Fuck."
So not a general consensus, but you guys would all kind of say that Matt Riddle and Roderick Strong was one of the top matches of the night.
In my opinion, it was the best match of the night, close second would be Cole and Gargano.
Yeah,
but yeah, that thing I liked about it though is the match between Roddy and Matt Riddle started I mean, it was like
It started technical, it got super physical.
Yeah, and so it's like, I mean, you look at any like really good wrestling match, and it kind of gives you all these different kind of styles during the match. Like it'll start out slow with like a technical match and build to a more physical occasion. Then you get into like the near falls and shit. Like just the whole match, like was built perfectly on both of them.
Right.
And then Riddle displays his new Tombstone neutralizer.
Pretty much.
The Bro Derek is what they called it.
Is that what they called it?
That's what they called the Bro Derek.
No bro mission? No. Okay.
No, but it's nice to see that. I mean, they're adding to his repertoire.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they have big plans for him.
Yeah, I would think so. It seems like he's pretty over with the crowd, and
He'll probably be the guy to take the title off of Cole.
yeah.
He'd be more over with the crowd if they just gave him the fucking high-on gimmick instead of the beach bum gimmick.
He's a good worker in the ring too.
Dude, I was a fan of Riddle watching when he was with Evolve. Like him and Keith Lee used to throw on classics.
Yeah. He's a lot like Angle in a sense. Mm-hmm. He never really wrestled. He did do
He did MMA.
MMA,
right? Yeah.
and then he did the transition, and I mean it's been fantastic.
He was ranked pretty high in MMA too, wasn't he?
At one point, he was a top 10 fighter in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then even in Evolve,
I think when Dana fired him, he was still ranked top 10.
Yep.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, he got fired for something stupid, right?
Well, here's
the drug policy.
No,
No, it wasn't that.
Here's
it was
what happened.
A comment he made.
He popped a drug test for marijuana, but he's got his marijuana card, and that wasn't okay with Dana. And then they popped him anyway. Like he wouldn't have been fired or anything. He would have got a suspension and a fine or whatever. But Matt Riddle then spoke up about it, and bucked the system. Said, "Look, Dana, like all your guys." Everyone else in this fucking roster's on PEDs. Like marijuana's not a PED. Why don't you?
That's just Frosted Flakes at the other end.
No. You're absolutely right because he made he said something.
And anyway, that didn't go over very well with Dana White, so we got fired. And he, I guess, this is his own words as he said on the Edge and Christian podcast. I guess his plan, like he was always a wrestling fan and always wanted to do it, but Dana White firing him, accelerated that transition. So that's what happened there.
Well, I'm glad he's at where he's at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. I think he's where he needs to be in the profession that he's more suited for.
I think he's the first wrestler that I've followed from the indies to WWE development till now.
Yeah.
Apparently, and that's another revelation from Edge and Christian's podcast, he's wanted to go to WWE, and WWE's had their eye on him for a long time now, and they're the ones that told him to go to Evolve. He had never even heard of Evolve. And WWE's like, go to Evolve.
Pretty much hone the craft.
Yeah.
And then we'll build you up from there.
And he wasn't even in Evolve
so it was
very
always
long before they actually...
He was there for a
like
minute.
3 years.
He was there for a while.
He was there like 3 years.
So I guess, but it was always the plan for him to go to Evolve, and I mean that was like a long-term plan.
Oh, so he not really an indie darling, other than
Not
Evolve,
really.
which is kind of under the
It's
WWE
a farm system for
umbrella.
WWE.
He started in Evolve, yeah.
So yeah, but like people like Mia Yim and Keith Lee, those guys, they were actually indie darlings that got pulled to Evolve.
Now moving on to the Gargano and Cole match. I know we were kind of all split with picking between Cole and Gargano. From if I remember correctly, Joe, what did you think of the outcome of that match? Were you happy to see Cole take it?
Yeah, I mean, I picked Gargano, but I'm a big fan of both guys, so I wasn't going to be disappointed either way. Bit surprised Gargano didn't have a bit longer of a run with it.
Yeah. Gargano has like the Bailey kind of run with titles.
But I mean, it's Adam Cole, baby. He's over as fuck. I mean,
but Gargano's one of those people where it was
better to watch him chase.
Yeah, exactly. It was more entertaining to watch him chase for the title than when he actually held it.
Because he's such an underdog.
Yeah, I like seeing him as the underdog.
And he's like a cheesy baby face too.
Yeah,
I liked him better when he was a heel.
Yeah, Smitty, what do you think?
I feel like kind of how Joe felt. Like I'm not mad that he won, but I would rather have seen like Gargano at least have like 2 or 3 months with the title, like a 3 or 4 month run with the title.
Couple of successful defenses.
But it was like it seems like Gargano, once he wins the title, he's just going to lose it right.
Yeah, he doesn't even have one successful defense, and then it's gone.
That's what I was going to ask. Did he even defend it once?
Yeah, I don't think he got a successful defense with. He had the North American title.
And North American lost the Dream
right after he won it.
And the world, and he lost. He didn't have a successful defense with either, did he?
It's the tag team with him and when him and Ciampa won the tag team title.
So he's basically
lost it the next
one and done guy.
Sounds like Sasha.
I could be wrong. I think he
Bailey.
I think
Sasha's
he defended
had a
it
better run.
once on NXT.
Once on NXT against Strong, actually.
I mean, not including
the world or the
NXT Championship.
Okay, that's what I meant.
He had one successful defense with the NXT Championship. It was on NXT television against Roderick Strong.
Right.
It seems like NXT likes to put that title on heels a lot.
Well, yeah, because that's
the old mentality.
Yeah,
it's
the prize that every good guy wants.
The money's in the chase.
Yeah.
And they mean the good guy chasing. Is what that means.
I think the last successful face run with the NXT Championship was probably Aleister Black.
That was a while ago now.
Yeah.
And he's not your typical baby face.
Yeah.
And then before that, Nakamura.
Speaking of
Finn Balor.
Nakamura was after Balor.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he had a successful babyface run.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the last two successful babyface runs were Aleister Black and Nakamura.
Now, an interesting spot in the crowd. Britt Baker sitting really close to Stephanie McMahon.
Or Dr. Britt Baker.
Dr. Britt Baker. Couple of memes going around out there, and she's Adam Cole's fiance?
Adam Cole's fiance.
Girlfriend? Okay. All right.
Hold on. Mike, you said that Roddy made Riddle look like a fucking god. You guys believe that? Defended it, Ciampa. Ciampa defended it. Oh, on NXT TV. So it wasn't Gargano that defended it.
Mikey also said that Gargano's the Sasha Banks of NXT.
Yep.
Go back to the tag team thing. He did say that
he said they had a meh work rate.
Street Profits are a gimmick team with a meh work rate, is what he said.
Yeah.
And why don't you just fucking call in?
Right?
Yeah, bitch.
Well, moving on from NXT. So right now, as it stands, Z, you are in the lead for our BDRcast title. Trying to take it from
my BDRcast title.
Trying to take it from yours truly. My first title run.
And was you going for your fifth or
and
sixth?
your last?
If he does win, just don't bring it into him.
I'd be like,
are you
Joe's so bitter. So I started doing this thing every time Smitty wins, I don't let him have the belt. And it kind of carried over into Joe because every time I'd bring it, Joe would have hockey, and every time Joe would show up, I wouldn't have the belt.
Yeah, because he's a fucking dick.
Yeah, that's why.
Might have to keep that tradition going.
Come on, I need my 7 or 8. I'm going for 7 or 8 here.
Nobody cares. You're like Gargano. You hold it for a month and drop it.
The first time I held it for 3 months.
Yeah, and then how many consecutive months after that have you held it? I'll wait.
After that, 2 was the second time, and then after that I lost it every month after. My longest run was 3.
So unlike everybody else, you get worse as time goes on.
Damn. Stay tuned next week. No.
All right, bitch. I'm taking that title off of you.
What are you, like mid-card on the NXT card now? You can't even get those right anymore?
Only one I get. Say, I just picked the wrong UE member to win. I knew only one of them was going to win.
Well, right. That's how you're wrong, because you picked the wrong people to win.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, so another big topic this week was, again, one of the hottest wrestlers right now out, Jon Moxley. Another interview, actually a 2-part interview with Wade Keller.
They could have got it done in a half a part.
They could have got it done in a half a fucking hour.
They could have got it done in a segment.
Before we talk about that, I want to say a quick thing about Smitty's Meats. Right now, Smitty's Meats has a $69.99 special going on. No, we're not doing that right now?
For Father's Day. Yeah. You can chew on Smitty.
Father's Day, chew on a Smitty meat.
It's black and andouille sausage.
It's really small, shriveled, and it smells weird.
I managed to listen to the first part, to part 1.
You didn't listen to part 2?
I haven't had I don't have a whole lot of time to do it.
I couldn't do all the ads.
I started to listen to part 2 first. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start with part 1. I made it through the first,
that makes sense,
Yeah, well, yeah. I went through the first 17 hours of ads, and then I started listening to the show, and a lot of really good points by Moxley is in regards to. It's interesting to hear his take on the behind-the-scenes aspect of it and what's involved with the script writing and what he likes and what he doesn't. And I understand that.
What he likes is nothing.
Right.
What he doesn't is everything.
Well, there were a couple highlights that, he said he did go to Vince McMahon a few times and, he threw him an idea and then he kind of tweaked it and he was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that works. But it seemed like later on down
in the
line,
beginning of his run.
Yeah, and he seemed to bring up a pretty good point of, he's like, he said at one point, like, why not give, so you push these, top 8 guys. And then you have them wrestle each other every week on Raw. And he brings up the fact that it's an episodic TV show, so they got to continue. And he said something that management said, well, we got to continue doing this. But last time I checked, WWE doesn't, continue.
Yeah, they seem to have continuity problems.
But he did bring up a good point about, he's like, there's so much talent in the back that's not being used. Not saying he wanted a day off, but hey, if you want to give me a day off, and I think he said Cedric
Apollo Crews or Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, give them some TV time so you can kind of build your next guy. But no, we're gonna go with these 8 guys, and this is what we're doing, and the ratings are gonna plummet, but nobody fucking cares.
Vince is like the only guy I know that pays so many people so much money to do absolutely nothing. God, I want a job there.
Say live shows and
you would have a job for like a week and then Vince would fire you because you just disagree with everything.
Yeah, I would.
He's
I would
too
go
small.
I would go insane in a week.
Well,
yeah, that too.
He's also too small.
Yeah.
When you
He
brought
got the
up,
muscle man dance.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yowie wowie.
Yowie wowie.
He did bring up a good point. A lot of the matches that, for example, I thought of the Ricochet and Cesaro matches that have been going on for the last 3 weeks. Each match has been pretty solid.
Oh, you guys didn't notice that they're doing the Sheamus Cesaro?
Yeah.
How long before they're a tag team?
Without announcing it, though, they're just giving you 7 matches.
But you're sitting there.
They've got no faith in either of those guys as singles.
You're taking these pay-per-view caliber matches, which to be honest, that's a pay-per-view.
Ricochet and Cesaro have been the shining points of Raw the past couple of weeks.
And you're cramming them down the throats regardless of whether or not you're going to form a tag team with them. So a lot of people it gets stale. You know what I mean? You're not.
I will say with those 2 in particular, they do their best because all 3 of their matches have been incredible.
Yeah,
It's kind of like when Andrade was doing his little feud with was it Ray?
Yeah.
At the time when they put on phenomenal matches for a good.
And they're
4
doing like
weeks.
a Canadian Destroyer every week.
That was kind of like one of the things that Mox talks about in the interview. He's like, oh, they like it now. They want to get their hands on it and they want to. Add this and do that. And I feel like that's what happened with Ray and Andrade because they're like, oh, that was an amazing match. We're going to do that every week until it dies.
Yeah, right.
I just feel so validated as a complaining fan over the years listening to John Moxley. Everything he said is shit that I've said on the show for the past 3 years.
Honest to God, I'm listening to the interview and I'm
He's like, is that Joe? Or is it,
I can literally hear Joe's head getting bigger as this interview with Moxley goes on.
Like I've said every fucking single thing that he said, and I don't even fucking work there.
Can you become Joe Moxley inside of our group chat now?
What were some of the things that they talked about in the second part? Because, like I said, I missed.
They talked about his match with Brock Lesnar.
I didn't hear that part. Okay,
that was pretty good.
He talked about how for weeks he was spitballing ideas. And nobody was really listening, and he tried to talk to Brock about it, and Brock got there so Mox got there early in the morning for WrestleMania, whereas Brock got there
Well, no, they said that he didn't finally get to meet with Brock until really late at night. The Saturday night before Mania is the first time they actually got to sit down and talk about the match.
Okay, well, they also said that at 3:00. the day of. He finally
convinced him of the mace thing?
The mace, and then they went to the prop guys and they like took a perfume bottle or whatever and tried to make it look like mace.
Tried to gimmick one up and it just looked like shit.
Yeah, and he was like, "Well, if you would have fucking listened to me 2 weeks ago, we could have one that looks like mace, and we could have and the way he explains it, it's like, wow, that would have been good because then I would have been like, all right, you know, like maybe like suspend your disbelief for a minute, like, oh, Dean has a chance.
Yeah.
So I mean, it sounds like Dean Ambrose is more, or John Moxley is more creative and more of an artist than I ever would have thought by watching what he was doing on TV. But now it all makes sense.
And it also sounds like all the shit that I personally and we have bitched about Dean Ambrose over the years. You know, Mitch the potted plant and being a prop guy, and sounds exactly what he was trying not to do, but was forced to do.
Sure. But with things like Mitch, like they gave him
over.
He
did what he did. What's
you made chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Yeah.
Well, and he even said, you know, he's the type of guy that, you know, if you ask him to do something, I'm going to do it.
Oh, yeah. He said he's the type of guy that will be like, well, can we do it this way? And if you're like, no, then he's like, fine, I'll do what you told me to do, but I'm going to do my best to get it over. Right. And now, like, after listening to this, like, I've gained a lot of respect knowing that, oh, this was all him. Mm-hmm. And then he even went into the Stone Cold podcast and he's like, well, you can't really ask me real questions and I can't give you real answers. So what do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
And that made a lot of sense to me too. Like, especially like after listening to that interview and then going back and watching him on Stone Cold, like it all made sense.
I'm going to have to, because I haven't watched that yet.
It was very awkward to watch.
It was awkward. It was like, started out good, just like he says in the interview. And then like he doesn't act like
Stone Cold kind of put the screws to him. But like he says, he couldn't really give him honest answers and shit, you know?
I was like, let's put him on like the Stone Cold Uncut like podcast now at this point and have him do like give another shot with Stone Cold.
Which will probably happen, actually.
I can see it.
Because Stone Cold's podcast is starting back up again this month, and they've already been talking on Twitter. So
yeah.
Oh, he's been gone for like the last 6 months, like 4 months now.
Yeah, they just been playing reruns.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to go back. It's on YouTube.
Oh, it's on the network.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you can watch it on the network.
Yeah, I have to go back.
And that was part of the reason he couldn't exactly. It's not like it was on, Stone Cold's podcast.
Unleashed,
it was Stone Cold through WWE, so he's kind of can't talk about certain shit.
Well, and another point I like that he brought up is the little time that he's been with AEW so far, he's had the ability to be himself, but their production going into their promos backstage are like quick and like, okay, here's what we're going to do. Sweet, run with it. 2 minutes later, they got themselves a promo. And again,
90 seconds later, we got a promo, just like that Shield promo they cut.
Oh, that shit was hilarious.
With the Bucks.
Did you see it?
Where they put the fists out. Yeah.
He just walks off.
90 seconds, boom, promo.
Same
done.
thing with the cigarette and Joey Janela. He's like, all right, he's going to come in smoking a cigarette. He's like, all right, I'm going to take it from him. And, cool.
Staple to the head.
Yeah. So
what an anomaly. Not overproducing or micromanaging shit.
Fucking mind blower.
Well, and he kept making a point. He goes, well, yeah, it's like real sports and stuff like that. So if that's the route, like we talked about it past couple weeks on the show, like, well, how are they going to make it like real sports? Like, how are they going to keep track of this and that and all this other stuff? And we didn't even think about promos. Like, when a guy wins the Stanley Cup for the first time, reporter goes up to him and, he knows, like, he probably shouldn't say some stuff, but whatever he says is not going to be edited, and how many times have you seen a professional athlete, like, flub on their words while they were doing an interview?
Right.
And he's like, this is real life. Like, this is the way it should be. One take. If I flub my words, so what? It's in real time. It's like a real sport.
Well, I'd hate to use this reference, but that's one thing they taught us, in broadcasting school, like, if you fuck up your words, who cares? Move on, because it sounds more conversational. It sounds more real.
Yeah, Michael Cole. I just move on.
Right. Just fucking do it.
It's an interesting concept, like allowing your talented people that you pay because they're talented to use their talents. It's like
what a concept,
right? Like wow,
Foreign.
Well, it's like
so foreign.
fucking mind blowing, you know.
He brought up another good point where they take these guys from the indies who have been doing their own stuff, like they write their own stuff.
Yeah, they don't have promo class, you know, at the performance center.
And then you bring them in, and here's your script. Like knowing that everything's scripted ruined Raw and SmackDown for me this week, and I was like, oh, this is terrible. But it also makes me wonder if Roman Reigns wasn't scripted, if he would actually be interesting to listen to on the mic.
I don't doubt it.
You know, when he came out,
Mox talks him up and says like he's a great guy, people love him, like they should just let him talk, but they don't.
When he made the announcement that he had leukemia, that seemed to be more of the real him.
Yes,
and that was captivating, and not obviously because he made, you know, an earth-shattering announcement, but just because
he was out there as himself
of the way he was speaking, the way he carried himself, like
there was emotion in it.
He was
like,
a real guy.
Yep.
You know, not reciting lines that Vince, you know, and that to me, he could have been talking about anything, you know, whether leukemia or not. If he just had that real connection, I mean, it's going to get over. I mean, he's going to make it right.
There's that word again.
I don't know.
Drink up, bitches.
We don't have enough beer.
We got liquor.
Yeah, and then we'll all be Ubering home.
All right,
Also
so
light-handed on my happy half, by the way.
a couple of highlights from Mox that came up. He did win the IWGP US Heavyweight title.
Yep, he won it.
Yeah.
So it aired on at like 5 in the morning.
And we actually, Smitty reposted that to Breaking Down the Ring's Facebook page.
Yes,
so,
the new variation to his finisher is great.
Yeah. What do they call it?
The Death Rider.
Death Rider. Okay. Yeah.
And we had been seeing those vignettes in New Japan the past couple times, and
about the last month, give or take.
Yeah, wondering who's this? Now we know.
And Juice Robinson, he had it for a while, right? Almost maybe like 6 months.
He's probably
didn't he win it at Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah.
He beat Jericho for it.
No.
He beat Cody for it.
Yep.
So he beat Cody for it.
It was a good match
at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, Dean busted him open the hard way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was that's one thing I love about New Japan: the physicality of just the style they do in New Japan in general. Yeah. And when they get technical, those holes look like they really are trying to choke you out.
How long did that match end up being?
Like half an hour.
Yeah, that was a good long match, dude.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to see him work a match.
See, like
I don't know about his ring gear though. I'm so
dude.
I
was gonna say that it's a little
weird
weird
to see
him.
See him in trunks.
Yeah.
Especially, I was thinking like, man, he's going out there wearing like the same type of shit that
he literally looked like
Suzuki
Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah, Suzuki wears, and Suzuki's a fucking killer. Like he might fuck around and get his ass beat backstage, you know.
But the funny thing is,
I saw it and I was like, wow, he stole Hideo Tommy's fucking outfit.
No, dude, Hideo Tommy's got kick pads and you know,
well, I meant like
knee pads and all that shit. Yeah,
he's making a statement wearing those shooter boots. Like that means
he's out here to play.
That means like he's like saying I'm a real badass, or at least that's what it used to mean.
But that also like back when he was in CCW before his WWE run, he just wore regular trunks too.
I don't think that's going to carry over to AEW though. I think he's going to get with that.
I don't know, man. I never liked he never wore jeans or SWAT gear before they told him to. Like,
yeah,
that's not what he did before. They made him do that. So like,
yeah,
him coming out in like actual wrestling gear was refreshing to me. I liked it.
He's gonna do what he wants. He's gonna wear the gear he wants to wear. Nobody can tell him what to wear.
Yeah, I mean,
how long do you guys think that'll last for in AEW?
What do you mean?
That they'll that it won't be scripted. That they'll get to do basically.
I was wondering that same thing myself.
You know what I mean?
It's still very corporate over there.
It's coming up from the ground. So you're right now you have the freedom.
It's still got a very corporate structure.
But if you look at WWE, they had that same freedom until they became a publicly traded company. Mm-hmm. And then that's the PG era. That's all this hokey shit. Yes, they do a lot for charity, which is amazing. And that's another thing he talks about in both interviews is the charity work and how much he loved it. But at what point like if AEW really does become number 2 to battle WWE for number 1, at some point you're going to have some kind of system to where you like set, you know what I mean? Like I hope they run it the way they want to throughout the whole thing, but at some point there's going to be some guy somewhere telling somebody what to do.
In other words, keep it TV 14. Like my only thing was like keep it TV 14. Any TV 14, don't drop an F-bomb, don't drop an S-bomb. If you do by accident,
well, and I think they'll
keep it limited.
They'll kind of figure out what they can and can't get away with, and what sponsors will like and not like, and it kind of seemed based on Moxley in these podcasts, he was basically implying, obviously that the sponsors for WWE kind of limit what they can do. You know what I mean?
As far as blood and
if
what
we
they
do that,
say on TV,
we're gonna lose a $10 million sponsor.
Right.
So,
but you also got to look at the people that sponsor WWE. Like, and if you turn on WWE,
Snickers.
This isn't fucking the 90s, all right?
Snickers still does endorse WWE.
I know.
They endorse WrestleMania.
But what it used to be, Castro GTS.
Oh, Castro GTS, Stacker 2.
Yeah, Stagger 2 when it first came out.
Bro.
Stagger 2 before they took it off the market.
Oh, yeah. And
then put it back on the market with none of the same shit in it.
Yeah.
John in the Facebook chat said AEW would give freedoms just to keep ahead and keep notoriety. Then they will worry. So we'll have to wait and see.
Look at the word you say about 2 or 3 years when they actually build something under them.
But I do love that creative freedom, though. I mean, it's just a small snippet, but it's very refreshing to see that.
Don't do the WCW thing where you gave the guys too much creative control.
Yeah, see, I think they'll learn from that. I just mean, like, if everybody gets to do whatever, if the inmates run the asylum, and everybody gets to do what everybody wants to do, at some point,
go WCW.
I'm not going to do what everyone thinks I'm going to do. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
You're cool. Fuck you. I'm out of here.
You see the post I put up?
I've heard that today.
Wait, you see the post I put on WWE? It had Raw, and it has fuck you, and it had SmackDown said fuck you, and then NXT says you're cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Now, one more thing to touch on with Moxley, and from the Jericho podcast last week, he had made mention of a scenario where they asked him to say some shit during a promo about Roman.
Roman's leukemia.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm not going to say it. I'll let you know what it is off the air. And there was a meme, I guess, that was going around that Jericho confirmed is not true. It's not what he said, but I thought it was interesting. Somebody put... he said it's the worst line. I'm not going to say it on the air. I'll tell you after we're done. He talked about Susan G. Komen and whatever, but the Reddit users, he claimed that, what did he say? I don't know who's more of a dead man walking, Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns. Only difference, I'm going to kill Seth, and God is going to kill Roman.
I really...
Yeah,
that is a good one.
That's a good one.
That'll lose you sponsors real quick.
But I would appreciate that.
And that's where Jericho chimed in and was like, no, that's a total fucking lie. Yeah.
But it also, the Jericho podcast...
Maybe he was going to talk about how Roman shit was a work.
The way they booking him, it makes it look like it.
Maybe back in the day he might have pulled that off and said it, but
yeah. But also that Jericho podcast, I did love the fact that he gave a shout out to Renee like in the background.
Yeah, no, he did. He's like, I've got my.
No, he was interviewing. I think she was in the room. That's why he's like, "Oh, hi, Renee."
Yeah,
because they were doing it in like a hotel room or something
like that.
They were at his house.
They were at his house.
Jericho's house?
No, they were at
Moxley's house.
Okay. Speaking of that, and suicide, I just want to make sure that everybody orders their meat for Father's Day from the Smitty's Meat Collection, $69.95, and you get all you can eat meat for.
We beat it ourselves.
Free shipping, and it's red and black and smells like the Breaking Down the Ring belt. So,
yeah.
Wow, it's probably as tough as that belt too. Huh?
It's ever some abuse.
This tastes like leather.
Not that much abuse.
All right, so another interesting thing happened over the weekend with Bully Ray. Ring of Honor held an event State of the Art on Saturday, was it? Yeah, Saturday. And a fan was taken backstage and intimidated by Bully Ray. According to the fan, the situation stemmed from a few points in the night where he traded some verbal blows with Allure, Velvet Sky in particular. The fan claimed he was doing what fans are supposed to do. He's cheering the faces and booing the heels, but eventually got out of hand. And later on in the night, they escorted him backstage by security, where he was met by Bully Ray
and Mandaleon and Velvet Sky as well, apparently.
Yeah, and they just basically, from my understanding and from what I've read, just kind of
told me what he did wasn't cool.
Gave him some verbal abuse. Didn't really, name call or anything, but hey,
our Mandaleon
don't
spit
disrespect.
on him.
Yeah, which, he went on to say he didn't even mind that. She spit on him, and he was like, I don't even care. But, they told him, don't be disrespecting these girls, blah, 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 be a fan. And, I put in the group chat, there is a line between being a fan and talking shit and being a dick and disrespectful. And you definitely, some people do get out of control. I don't know really what happened. I wasn't there. But I definitely don't agree with what Bully Ray did, pulling him to the back. Kick the guy out of the fucking arena then. You know what I mean?
All right, so this is just the pro wrestling fan in me. But is it a work? Are we going to see this fan wrestle in ROH? Because here's the thing, and we talked about it in the chat. If I'm sitting ringside and I'm heckling somebody, I don't get escorted to the back. This isn't a fucking casino. I wasn't counting cards. I don't get escorted to the back. I get asked to leave the building. Legs. And if I don't leave on my own free will, I'm sure they'll get enough guys to throw me out the thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I believe it. I don't know if it may have happened, but it all could be storyline coming to some point.
Not if Bully and Allure are supposed to be working his heels.
But it doesn't matter. My point is, you don't now. Rule of thumb in professional wrestling: if you run into the ring during a show or at any point,
he didn't run into the ring.
Well, hold on. That's my point. But all bets are off.
Sure.
If you're behind the barricade and you do something dumb, security asks you to leave. Because, and the biggest reason, for no other reason, than if you do go back and get intimidated by the wrestlers, there's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
That's what I'm thinking, man. If that was me, I'd have, done everything I could to get Bully Ray to hit me. Just all right, now you're fucked, motherfucker.
But here's the thing. He does. Okay, this is 2019, guys.
Yeah,
all you had to do was turn your phone on record and be like, he hurt my feelings, and you would have got some kind of fucking payment.
Yeah. We live in a world full of...
All you have to do is let me in.
Sissies. I can't even say pussy, because pussy is pretty tough. The thing bleeds for a couple of days and doesn't die.
Those things take a pounding.
That's Smitty's Meat, $69.99.
That was the only time Smitty's ever made sense.
I don't call people pussies.
Well, apparently Ring of Honor issued a statement. ROH has always taken a fan-first approach with fan experience being at the forefront of all of our live events. We consider this to be very serious, and we will be conducting an internal review over the next 48 hours to determine the appropriate actions. I believe that 48-hour time frame ended today.
It hasn't been released, so
no.
We'll look at tomorrow. If Bully Ray's released from Ring of Honor.
Joe, do you think maybe Bully Ray felt like he can get away with it more because Ring of Honor is a smaller promotion? So maybe they can kind of get away with shit like that?
Bully Ray, he, like I said in our chat, he didn't get that nickname for no reason. I heard, you guys know who Sal and Q are, right?
Yeah.
Well, they were on the Jericho Cruise. They're big wrestling fans, and I heard them on a podcast, and one of them was talking about how they were in line for some event, like at Access or something, and one of them talked shit or something to Bubba Ray, called him fat or something, and Bubba Ray made his way through a couple hundred people to walk over him and do the same thing, get up in this guy's face and talk shit, and the guy was scared shitless, so it's...
Well, at that point, he's standing up for himself. Fuck off.
But What happens if Bubba Ray puts his hand on that guy? I mean, he's gonna get sued.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe he got in his face like this. Really, if you're gonna talk shit, do something about it. And when if he defends himself,
dude, going back to ECW, Bubba Ray would incite riots, literally.
Yeah,
I know.
Like he would race bait. Like word for word, I remember him saying, he said, "Look at this fucking whore sitting front row teaching her whore daughter how to suck dick." He literally said that at an ECW.
He called a crowd full of faggots and cocksuckers.
Oh, what else? He told someone to suck Devon's big black dick.
Yeah, but
he's told someone Taco Bell's across the street, you Puerto Rican motherfucker. So this is like typical behavior from the guy. But now
that was ECW.
Now it's a different day and age, and before he could get away with it,
now
I'm not so sure.
We have a sissified world we live in.
Bubba Ray is that guy. That's who he is.
Yeah.
And he's gotten away with it for a long time. And yeah, I probably think that there's like he's got a little bit of superstar mentality. Like I'm the man in Ring of Honor. Like there is no bigger star in Ring of Honor than me right now. I do what I want, you know.
I think Jay Lethal, but that's it.
No.
Not on the mainstream level.
Come on, man. If you
not
know,
level.
How many people in the world know who Jay Lethal is compared to Bubba Ray? There's going to be a vast difference.
Once again, let's say on a mainstream level.
Well, that's what we're talking here. That's the only level that really matters.
Once again, $69.95 for Smitty's meat package. I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, that's fine. Throw a home improvement ad in there.
So,
I mean, I heard the guy was really, really off-put. I mean, like bordering on the line of doing some illegal, like sexual harassment shit. But still, like you guys said, just kick him out then.
Yeah.
Like you can't, because I mean,
but
what's Bubba Ray gonna do if this guy starts talking shit back to him? Is he really gonna beat him up?
If this isn't a work, how does it ever get to this point? You know what I mean? Like, if the guy's
because it is a smaller promotion and shit like that can probably slip through the cracks at the time, but it's gonna get rectified in the end.
Well, I'm assuming that the guy was sitting pretty close to the ring.
Sure.
Assuming maybe first, second row. Hi, Mikey.
We got a caller.
Is it the all dykey one?
Does he have a male work rate?
Hey, whoever this is.
What's up, boys?
Oh,
boy. Are you in the bathroom on the bus right now talking to us?
No, I finally got back to my hotel room. All the kids are going to some bonfire.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show the all Mikey one.
He's the payphone at the rest
Dyke
area.
Mikey?
Is this 1-800-COLLECT?
Oh, good. That was a sponsor too.
Well, they were actually. Is this collect call?
Talking about?
We are talking Bully Ray and the shit that went down at Ring of Honor over the weekend, and I asked Joe what he thought about the fact that it's a smaller promotion, so maybe they feel like they can get away with this type of shit.
I thought.
Oh, I didn't know if I was behind or not, and then Smitty said Jay Lethal was the biggest name in the company.
That's what made you call in.
I
right?
didn't say it was the biggest name.
Hold on a minute, I gotta call these motherfuckers.
He had to call just say hashtag wrong again.
But the point I was trying to get with
I agree with Joe. It's a situation that the dude has been so outlandish his entire career that I don't care what anybody said. That was pulling him in the back. So the thing is, it wasn't Ring of Honor security that brought this guy into the back. It was who's the other person in Allure? It's Velvet Sky and who else?
Mandy Leon and Angelina Love.
Mandy Leon's boyfriend was the one that said he was Ring of Honor security and pulled him into the back, and then was talked to by Bubba Ray Dudley. So it wasn't even a Ring of Honor issue.
Someone said it was Delirious Hunter S. Johnson, but it was a different someone with a different first name and the last name Johnson, I guess.
I'm clicking on this.
Derek
right
Johnson
now,
or something like that.
Is that a playoff?
It wasn't. Someone tried saying it was Delirious, though. It was not Delirious.
But the whole thing with Allure is like everybody know that Velvet Sky's been with Bully Ray for like for years at this point, and that's part of the reason I think he got involved with this.
It's a work. It was the same fan that beat up Bret Hart. Changed my mind.
Can't even argue that. I'm trying to find his tweet on this. Oh, yeah, he said the security that brought me backstage turned out to be Hunter Johnson.
Yeah, that's delirious. But I
Okay, yeah. It's ROH's
actually
head booker and
dating
rumored
Leon?
boyfriend of Mandy Leon.
Hunter Johnson is not dating Mandy Leon, is he?
According to the article, yes.
That means she's dating the booker. He books ROH.
Now, is Hunter S. Johnson a playoff at Hunter S. Thompson? Is that why he's delirious?
Moving on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it
That
was
was
a
like
serious. It was a serious question.
Well, still moving on.
So he says, sorry, I have a slow internet connection up here too.
Up in Mackinac.
Right.
And here
He
we are.
says this is really just an ROH issue. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it turned him off of wrestling or anything like this. He said he's been to like at least 13 Ring of Honor shows and spent thousands supporting the company and his friends that work there. So apparently he knows people too.
Now, see, that would make more sense why he got escorted to the back if he like knows people that work there and he was being disrespectful. So then he gets brought to the back for a certain talking to or whatever the fuck happened. That makes more sense.
I agree. That completely changes it. It's not just a regular fan that's sitting ringside.
Right.
It's now someone that knows people. It'd be like just like if any of you guys came to my job and all of a sudden just started disrespecting the other bartenders. I would pull you aside, or I would have, you know what I'm saying, like the general manager that would know you guys would pull you to the side and be like, hey, calm the fuck down before we kick you out.
Yeah.
That makes a little more sense.
In other words, you say...
Right. So, go ahead, Smee.
I think so. With all this information, it's not like my man made a mountain out of a molehill saying they intimidated him at this point.
Well, he even said, too, when he was backstage and they were talking to him, he was like, yep, no problem. Yep, no problem, sir. I got you. Absolutely.
Well, but at the same time, it shouldn't have been Bubba Ray that went back there. Either way. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who this guy knows. It shouldn't have been another wrestler that went back there and had this discussion with him. It should have been if that guy's the lead booker or the person putting on the promotion at the show, they should have had the conversation with him.
Or
just another wrestler. The fact that it was the wrestler of the boyfriend of the woman he was berating is why this is an issue. Because then it's like you don't like. Oh, it'd be like ripping on Charlotte Flair at a SmackDown Live event and Andrade talking to you backstage.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't be able to understand anything he said.
And what's wrong with a little bit of old school chivalry? I'm sorry.
That's not chivalry, dude.
Standing up for your woman is not chivalrous?
Not when it's a fan backstage. If that's the case, you wait till the show is over and you have the conversation. The minute you pull him into a closed private room is the minute you're in intimidating mode.
Sounds sissified to me.
That's not no, dude. You don't do that to someone. And if it's the same thing, it's the same thing with any type of job. If you're pulled in to be spoken to about something that you're doing, it's not just one person in there. It's two people.
Yeah, because
you
have a
two
witness.
people to make sure that somebody is has a backup of the
apparently
story.
he wasn't.
If it's a one-on-one thing like that, the reason he was pulled back there was to be intimidated. Period.
But it wasn't just one person back there with him.
It was just one person back there with him. He said that the other dude brought him to the room, and then he left, and then Bully Ray came in, and he left, and it was just him and Bully Ray in that room.
But the also thing that said Mandy Leon and Velvet Sky were also in the room where Mandy Leon spit on him.
No, I thought she.
Mandy Leon
spit on him at ringside.
At ringside, yeah.
Learn
Because he was talking
read.
shit.
I read very well.
Now, clearly you don't. It wasn't a picture book.
I have this whole
Smitty
fucking
didn't
thing in
understand.
front of me. I can recite the entire thing to you right now.
No, I'm talking to Smitty. I'm saying
No,
Smitty
I'm
can
telling you. That's what I'm talking about. What Smitty is saying is completely different than what the guy actually tweeted. The guy said that he shit-talked the girls when they came out the first time. And that's when Mandy Leon spit on him from the side and face-palmed him, right? Because he was he was front row. There was photos of this guy too. He was front row at the Ring of Honor show. So she face palmed him and spit on him from the side. Then the girls came out later and did a run-in, and he continued shit talking, regardless of whatever the fuck he said. I don't know what he said. There's way different accounts. There's a friend of his that is on there saying he wasn't saying anything different than he had said to any other heel at any other time in the company, boy or girl. But then, of course, there's other people that were there going, no, he totally fucking said this. It's a he said, she said thing.
I'm going to have to go back and watch this on Honor Club now.
You said what?
I'm going to have to go back and I have this on Honor Club. Now I want to see it.
Fuck yeah. And so, but the minute he was pulled into a one-on-one situation with Bully Ray in the back is the minute it became the problem. Because then it is literally a company that has to defend themselves. And it's very possible that Bully could lose a job in Ring of Honor. He could be suspended for real for 90 days without pay. His Busted Open gig is really probably on the line right now, depending on what Ring of Honor does.
Yeah.
Because Ring of Honor, fucking Busted Open, they fired that Larry Dallas co-host because he defended Michael Elgin when Elgin was being said that he was like putting people's lives in danger and shit like that. And Elgin wasn't doing anything other than saying, if this dude assaulted you, get me a police report and I'll get rid of him. And she wouldn't go get a police report. She's like, well, I can't do anything just because you're saying he did this.
Right.
And Larry Dallas was on Busted Open saying, he literally said it. He goes, he didn't do this. There's no reason he should be in trouble, blah, 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 blah. And they ended up releasing him. And then he was doing an MLW podcast. And he said the same thing again. And they ended up releasing him on there. And I'm all for chivalry, Smitty, easily, 100%. But they should have been back in this room with the girls there and the boyfriends and be like, look, these girls took a lot of offense to what you said. Here's why. And then have it go up. That's chivalry. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to defend my girl, I'm going to defend my girl while my girl's there. I'm not going to pull some dude to the side and go, hey, asshole. You know, like that's not chivalry. You're looking for a fight. Completely different situation. But I agree that if he really did go over the line and these girls actually did become offended by what he said, he should have been pulled in the back, especially if he knows people there. But it should not have been a one-on-one situation.
Yeah, they could have handled it a lot differently. It sounded like a heat of the moment type thing for Bully Ray, and you know, from the sounds of it, as he's a little bit of a hothead, obviously, and you know, just he probably took more offense to it than maybe his girl did, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I've heard him on Busted Open talk to callers he doesn't like. And that's callers on a show he's getting paid to do when there's a big, huge audience. And I have literally gone, wow, I can't believe this dude speaks to the people that are calling in as fans. Not like wrestling. He's not a heel on this show. He's supposed, like, dude, if we ever had someone call in and anybody said, you're a piece of shit, shut the fuck up, don't want to hear what you have to say.
That's what I say to Daniel all the time.
Hang up.
These are things I say to Daniel all the time.
But tongue in cheek versus get the hell away. You know what I'm saying? It's just like there's certain things that you don't do. So I fully believe that this bully tried to intimidate this guy, and I fully believe that it was in a bad situation.
If the guy was smart, like I was saying earlier, he should have tried to get Bully to hit him. How much trouble would Bully be in then? You know, if that was me, so that's probably what I would have been doing.
I think you got looking for 5 seconds of fame.
I'm sorry, guys, but if I get taken to the back, and I am in a room with Bully Ray by myself, I'm going full-blown Fight Club. I'm punching myself in the face. I'm throwing myself through the fucking wall. I'm kicking please don't hit me. Yeah, 110%. Like
fucking liar.
So he's got looking for 5 minutes of fame.
But if there's no witness and I come out with a black eye, people are just going to assume that he hit me, not that I hit myself.
Yeah.
So I mean, a guy could end up getting a payday here.
I didn't hit nobody.
I mean, if that really went down the way that he's saying, then he should have been all up in Bully Ray's face talking shit back, trying to get Bully to hit him and get a fucking payday out of it.
Guy looking for 5 minutes of fame.
Fuck 5 minutes of fame. I'd have taken $5 million.
You can knock me the fuck out, ship me to the hospital, and then pay me.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yep.
Like, you want to talk shit, Bubba? Fucking hit me then. You know, you fat fuck.
Right. Joe's already practicing.
I can't wait till they come to Detroit. I'll be all over it.
Be in the front row spitting on Bully Ray.
Well,
That's normal.
I don't know. I like Silas though, and he's friends with Silas, so that
But
might be a conflict of interest.
But talking about spitting on things, have you guys tried Smitty's Meats?
right now, Smitty's Meat's got a $69.95 deal for Father's Day. Just enter the code SMITGriddle, and you will get that free shipping.
But
It comes with free sausage pancakes.
You have to take care of your kids to be a father. Smitty doesn't do that.
I don't got no kids that I know about.
See what I mean?
Allegedly.
Exactly.
If you call now in the next 20 minutes, you'll get a free ripped T-shirt with a fucking shit stain on it.
And Scented Smitty Meats will help you all out. It comes with a free DNA test.
No.
Hell, it's not Z Meats. It comes with a shot of penicillin.
Unfortunately, all of the refrigerated trucks are out of service, so make sure you cook that.
It's going to be hot, sweaty meat.
Hot meat.
Hot, sweaty
Right in
Smitty.
time for Father's Day.
Tainted meat, or maybe just taint meat.
Don't know till you try it.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Hashtag tainted meat.
Yeah, please don't knock it, Stan.
Oh, shit.
Did you guys
We
read
like to
off
have
what
fun.
Bully responded with?
What's that?
Did you guys read off Bully's response?
No. Nope.
I saw Mandy Leone's response. I didn't see Bully's.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
So Bully tweeted out, this was 2 days ago. So he said, and now the truth. I cannot have been any nicer to said fan, in quotation marks. Yes, nice. Hard to believe. I never threatened, intimidated, or berated said fan. I handled the situation the exact opposite way most would assume, with decorum. Convo lasted less than 30 seconds. I even gave him the fan a friendly pat on the back and told him to go enjoy the show and go be a fan. His response, thanks, Bully. Fan version of story is embellished to make fan look like a victim. Many other fans who attended the show in Kenton, Portland have already confirmed on social media how said fan crossed the line with multiple talents, both men and women. In retrospect, the fan should have been ejected. Unfortunately, it wasn't until after fan was asked to be not so rude did we find out the severity of the vile comments and lewd sexual gestures made towards the women. I think we can all agree that in 2019, this type
of behavior towards women.
Women is unacceptable and goes far beyond the scope of, I paid for my seat, I should be able to do or say whatever I want. I live by the motto, respectful fans always get what they want, rude fans always get what they deserve. At the end of the day, I'm guilty of defending 3 women that needed a bit of defending, not by being a bully, by being a man. So why would he defend them if he didn't know the extent of the vile and lewd sexual comments and gestures?
So he contradicted himself.
Yeah, so the minute you make yourself look like, oh, I pulled him to defend them, but you didn't know the extent. So if you didn't know the extent, why would
what exactly were you defending?
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Cool. Yeah. Then it just sounds like the dude was shit talking them and he pulled him in
It
the
sounds
back.
like sounds like, a bunch of guys that we all know too many of. It sounds like likes to fight guy.
Yeah.
You want to fight about it?
Right. Look at that guy riding his bike a half a mile away. What the fuck's he doing? I'm gonna fucking kick his ass.
Right. Want to fight about it?
Right.
Well, his response kind of sounds, what's the word I'm looking for? Not forced, but...
contrived?
Yeah.
Like
cliche. Yeah. I mean...
Scripted?
You can't really sit there and say, I was totally nice to him, believe it or not. If you were, you wouldn't have had to said, believe it or not.
If he was, this wouldn't even have come up, probably.
Well, I mean...
But he also has a reputation for, like you said, being a bully.
That's exactly what I was going to say before Smitty interrupted.
So I think when you have a reputation like that, at times you got to clarify that, no, I didn't do this.
Yeah.
It's like saying, any hothead.
Go ahead.
I was like, that's like any hothead. Like, oh, did you like? Oh, did you when you so you left? Like, you were heated when you went with this guy to the back. Did you like? You guys get into a fight? Like, no.
Hold on. Is that porn in the background? What are you watching? HBO in the hotel room?
Skinamax.
No,
After
it's a
dark.
fucking kid.
It's even worse. You took her to Wienerlicious earlier.
The fuck kind of field trip is that?
Way different than when I was a kid.
Taking babies to Wienerlicious.
Was it though? Was it really? You know, it was kind of the same.
We went to Henry Ford and saw the Wienermobile. We didn't go to Wienerlicious. All right,
that's a whole building. He just saw a car.
It's 2019. We've all evolved.
He just saw one giant wiener.
She went to a building full.
I didn't see a plethora of them.
But you saw the biggest of them all.
Right.
Well, I see a plethora when you just go to the granddaddy of them all.
And when you've seen the biggest of them all, you should see the smallest of them all. Which brings us to Smitty's Meats.
$69.95 special this Father's Day. Smitty's Meats, hot, fresh meat.
I feel like I need to whip it out just so I can just debunk
Please
that.
don't do that. Don't do that.
We're gonna drag you to the back and have Bully Ray talk to you about it.
No, I'll shoot you if you do that.
Right? Joe will shoot you.
I'm pretty sure he will. He's at one or two.
In the penis, and then we will talk about Smitty's smoked meat.
My smoked
you can get at Smitty's Meats.
Smoked meats.
for only $69.95.
The
smoked meats, half
20th
off.
caller gets a free trip to Wienerlicious.
So, Mikey, this show's not going off the rails at all without you here.
No, not at all.
We're doing just fine.
Nick even has a script, and we're not going by the script.
we're going, as they say, off
I know.
script.
He sent it to me.
It's kind of flowing a little bit. I'm on page 3. So.
You know, it's like we're taking the bullet points and then we're making it our own.
Well, there's only 2 things left to talk about, and we don't really want to talk about those 2 things.
Speaking of that, it's time to get Raw. Raw and SmackDown this week. I will say this.
Raw and SmackDown.
Bum, 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 bum. I will say this. The first hour of Raw drew 2.3 million viewers up from last week. The second hour drew 2.5 million viewers up from last week. Love you too. And the third and final hour drew 2.3 million viewers. That was also up from last week. So it doesn't mean anything to me. Anyway, Brock,
Dude, they had 3 matches in 3 hours.
5 matches in 5 hours.
But hold on.
And a half.
Hold
if
on.
You want to count,
3 matches in 3 hours is not an issue for me. As long as
how is that not an issue?
As long as each match is 45 minutes long. That's where I was going with that. I will never complain about watching 3 45-minute matches on a 3-hour TV show.
They're not going to have 3 Omega versus Okadas on Raw.
No. I understand that.
Okay.
I'm
They
just
won't
saying.
even have a Juice versus
I'm just saying, if
fucking
they
Mox.
had 3 matches in 3 hours and they were all a decent length, that's one thing. But when your promos are longer than your matches, you start running into boring the hell out of me.
Yeah.
It's not even just promos. It's like packages and talk shows.
How many times do we got to watch the Triple H and Randy Orton?
I know the
fucking thing?
backstory from 2003.
We already know.
Dude, I was watching in 2003. I remember it sucked then.
And
okay?
then
The
on
worst
top
mixed
of
TV in a long
that,
time.
you're going to pull out 2003 responses. Oh, well, Triple H, why don't you get your balls back from Stephanie? Ooh. Right. Oh, my God, Randy said balls.
Oh, you don't have any balls.
Yeah. They I understand they're trying to make this match some type of interesting, but I really don't care. I've seen this match over
For almost
and
10
over
years.
again.
These
for
two have
15
probably
years,
wrestled
15
each
years.
other like 1,000 times.
Yes.
Literally. Like
Yes.
not exaggerating.
That goes
Yeah, no,
back-
If you're talking like live event loops and
over
shit
the course of
in
15
the
years
past,
when they were feuding and everything,
Yeah.
yeah, you're absolutely right. At least 1,000
we
matches.
don't need to see it again, dude, at all.
True.
Ever.
And you don't have to. Just don't watch Super Showdown.
I'm gonna watch it just for like Mystery Science Theater 3000 purposes, just so I can rip the fuck out of it on the show.
The one thing I will say is, have you noticed that like when we were younger, the lights for the Undertaker would go like off and on, and he'd be in the ring, and now that he's like 75 years old, they go off for like 10 minutes. So he can get in the ring, and then they come back.
Somebody have to take the walker.
What you're not hearing is someone like they mute that out as someone using the clapper in the back to turn them on and off.
Well, we'll get to to Taker and Boldberg in a few minutes here.
Gilberg's back.
I want to talk about Brock not cashing in.
The world's scariest Jew.
So Brock, of course, did not cash in his Money in the Bank contract, much to the chagrin of a lot of people.
Not really. I mean, just
what are you talking about? That was the best thing in the world.
Just Stephanie, I guess. I mean,
this is going to be an ongoing thing.
Well,
all their ratings
he's
are
a
up,
liar.
so now they're going to tease it every fucking week.
Right.
He's gonna lie about cashing in.
I should hold up the sarcasm sign, but I don't know. I kind of feel like, because I was reading a few things on some message boards, some people think that this might be a whole swerve, and he's going to cash in on Kofi on Friday.
Or at SummerSlam, or after SummerSlam.
Or when they go live on Fox.
Yeah, he said Friday, so when he said Friday, that's when I'm thinking, fuck, he's going to make cash in on that first episode of SmackDown on Friday.
You said Friday, the first episode of that kind of makes sense. But I was going to say he said Friday. So now everyone's going to watch Super Showdown to watch him not cash in.
I didn't say this Friday.
Then he's going to be next week, which is fine. I mean, this is how they're pulling ratings. And clearly, you said that every hour was up from last week.
Every hour was up. Not by a whole lot, but
doesn't matter. Yeah. Still up. So it did something. Like, I tuned in strictly just to see, like, all right, how are they going to do this?
Right.
Wasn't, whatever. But, I mean, it's almost one of those things where Brock is going to beat down Seth Rollins and beat down Kofi Kingston to the point where he should have. It's going to come down to, well, he should have done it 3 months ago when he had him beaten down. Yeah. Now he's probably going to win it and hold it.
Well, and they really grabbed the viewer and made you think, even when he was coming down the aisle, like, okay, here we go. I still didn't think it was going to happen, but they drew you in. They definitely drew you in for that and made you think it was possible. But yeah,
let me ask you guys a question. Have you, since Brock has become the Money in the Bank holder, you have seen Brock Lesnar every week on WWE television.
There's a reason for that.
This week,
Jeddah.
you're going to see him twice since a week. Joe and I talked about this when he first won. We said, look, we think he might pick up his schedule, maybe being once every 3 weeks, a couple of every other pay-per-views. This dude is in there now.
For right now.
More than he has been, it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. He is in there more than he has been when he was the title holder, even when he wasn't just a title holder. If this is the type of dates that Vince worked out, and this is how it's going to go. Now, granted, this could all be just Super Showdown
propaganda,
right? Because
fodder.
Please remember.
You did that on purpose.
Please remember that every year of Brock's contract is heavily loaded for after Mania. Up until like last year, he did Mania, he did Backlash, he did basically everything up to SummerSlam. Not saying he was on TV as much as he is right now, but he was on TV more than he normally is. And then after SummerSlam, he kind of fades off into the wind. So
until about Survivor Series.
Yes, and
but it was still like he'd show up for a Raw before a pay-per-view. Like there was times where that Universal Championship did not show up on Monday Night Raw for 2 months.
I understand.
Even after Mania.
Right, and I'm just saying the front part of his contract is always seems to be the heavily scheduled, even when it's a week scheduling like it was. So I will become a believer that he's going to stick around, like, every week, every other week, even once a month at this point for how he's normally scheduled. If it keeps up after SummerSlam, I will become a believer that, Brock's back full time. Until then, I'm just not going to buy into the hype because it's not worth it.
But at the
I'm
same
with Z
time,
on this one.
does he need to be back? Does he need to be back full time with a Money in the Bank contract if he doesn't cash it in at Super Showdown?
But no,
that goes.
But I'm just saying that he right now, like you said, we've seen him on TV every week, and every week that he's been on TV, the ratings have gotten a little bit better. I mean, they're not getting great by any means necessary, but they're better than the week before and the week before that and the week before that.
I think they need to throw him in a match.
You have Brock in a match on Monday Night Raw. It doesn't even matter who the fuck it's against.
Right.
You get ratings.
Put him in a match once between
Going
pay-per-views.
back to the Moxley thing.
But then also
that's like when Brett would be on Raw in the early days of Raw, and you're like, Brett only wrestles on a pay-per-view. And Mox even says it in the pay-per-view or in the interview. He goes, it didn't matter who the hell Brett was wrestling that night. I was watching TV because Bret Hart was wrestling on TV and it wasn't a pay-per-view.
Right.
So same thing with Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
Throw him in a random match on Raw and I guarantee you're going to get ratings. I mean, it's almost like a Mick Foley cheap pop at this point. But that's all you got to do is Brock Lesnar is going to wrestle in the third hour of Raw. You don't even got to say who it's going to be against. It could be against Eugene.
Heath Slater.
It could be against Eugene. Bring back Eugene to get smothered by fucking Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. But they see him move and they see him fight, and that's what they want to see, you know?
But also, I think they're going to milk this whole Brock Lesnar's a liar thing for as long as they can. And if that keeps him on TV.
Though. What does it matter?
What is
the dumbest thing in the world is Stephanie going on that video going, can't believe the
that's
way
that's why I say this whole Brock Lesnar liar work thing.
I agree with you, Mikey. Like, how's the idea of the Money in the Bank is to utilize it whenever you want. So how's he disrespecting it?
Right.
But once again, that's what I said. They're going to try to milk this whole bullshit.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar's a liar.
Especially like going back through the years, like how many times has it been teased that somebody was going to cash in and didn't?
And it's always more like 9 out of 10 times been cashed in an immoral fashion. But now Brock Lesnar's disrespecting it. Fuck off. That's so fucking dumb.
I mean, the only disrespectful thing he did was take the contract out and turn it into a boombox. They're just mad that
took down a case when he wasn't in a fucking match originally.
But he was. They just didn't tell us, I guess.
I was going to say,
But that goes back to what I said before. Like, why didn't he have to come out in the beginning like everyone else? There's no explanation for that. Whatever.
Yeah, why didn't, like, when Ellsworth grabbed the title and not a woman did it, they did the rematch 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks following
later
on SmackDown. Why not do it for the Raw? You know, why not do that on Raw? Be like, Brock Lesnar was not part of the match, so we're gonna redo the match with Brock Lesnar in it. I guarantee you, if you have a Money in the Bank ladder match with Brock in it on Raw, you're gonna draw ratings
and give it about 30, 40 minutes on during that last hour.
Brock, it takes Brock like
give it
12 dates throughout the year to work 30 to 40 minutes.
Give it the last hour and a half with commercials and everything. Fuck yeah.
I said 45 with commercials, literally, because.
Well, and back to your point, Joe, about the whole Stephanie thing, and that's the type of shit that pisses me off about this company is they question viewers like you and Mikey and guys that have watched it way longer than I have and are way more, invested and have more knowledge. Well, you know what I mean.
That doesn't work.
But you know what I mean, though. Like, you're questioning everybody's intelligence, and you're sitting there saying, "Oh, well, it doesn't fucking matter if these guys are just going to forget."
The
like,
WWE has been
intelligence
insulting our intelligence since like the late '80s.
Yeah,
and then when the Attitude Era popped, Vince told us they were going to stop insulting our intelligence. But here we are, halfway through 2019. And Vince is still insulting our intelligence.
Yeah. It's just, it's that type of shit, to me, is one of the reasons that these ratings are what they are. I mean, when you look back at these numbers from years ago, I'm like, holy shit, really? Like 2.2 million? That's fucking nothing.
Compared to what we saw.
That's like almost like TNA numbers. Like,
those are TNA numbers. Believe it or not, those are TNA numbers.
So aside from Brock not cashing in, he did beat the fucking tar out of Seth Rollins.
Yeah, that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, and Seth, man.
Okay, I had to say it was all right, but they tried to make it seem like his beating was worse than what Ziggler did to Kofi a couple weeks ago. And Kofi walked out on his own 2 feet.
Yeah, but Brock Lesnar
So that would make Brock's beating on Seth worse than what Kofi got.
Brock Lesnar
could
eat Dolph Ziggler, dude. Like,
But
Brock Lesnar putting a beating on someone is a little bit more significant than Dolph Ziggler putting a beating on someone.
The whole,
at least, I mean, looking from the outside in.
No, look at the
How did I leave to
comparison.
go to the bathroom when I come back into here? Well, if Brock ate Dolph Ziggler,
No, he said that Dolph Ziggler's beating on Kofi a couple weeks ago is worse than that Dolph Ziggler's beating on Kofi a couple weeks ago is worse than the beating that Brock Lesnar put on Seth on Raw.
I disagree.
Okay, the stuff with the chair in the throat and all that stuff as well.
Wait, you're making this argument? Oh, sweet. Hashtag wrong again. Here's why.
Here we go.
Dolph Ziggler and Kofi.
I disagree, and here's why.
You're right. Trying to be formal about this. All right, so Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston are about the same size. If you get beat on by a guy same size as you, it doesn't necessarily hurt, but you have Brock Lesnar. Now, if a guy like Brock Lesnar is beating
the size thing,
well, how can you not? I mean, how can you not equate the two? Like, you have Brock hitting Seth with a steel chair. That probably hurts. I mean, in kayfabe, that probably hurts a lot worse than
taking a chair to the back of Brock is worse than taking a chair like lunge into your throat.
I mean, I would.
Kofi Kingston was able to walk away from his beating by Dolph Ziggler. Seth Rollins had to be taken directly to an ambulance and then the local medical facility. So
and Becky went with him.
You're missing my point here.
The bottom line is when you're able to walk away from a beating, it's nowhere near as bad as the one guy who took the beating that he wasn't able to walk away.
Now
you're missing the point.
Now, no. I'm actually going to adhere to your point. Now, you do the same move, right? So Dolph takes the chair, hits him in the throat, right? So now Brock does the same thing to Seth. Same exact fucking thing. In real life, which one do you think would hurt more? Dolph Ziggler throwing you into a chair or Brock Lesnar throwing you into a chair?
Brock probably would. That's not what he did, but that's not what he did.
But
threw him around, hit him a couple suplexes, gave him an F5, and hit him with a chair 3 times in the
Brock
back.
Lesnar is supposed to be this dominant force and blah, 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 and Dolph Ziggler is a fucking crybaby.
Then it's also,
I'm not saying that Dolph's attack on Kofi wasn't brutal. I'm just saying
but Brock's wasn't as brutal.
But it doesn't have to be because it's Brock Lesnar doing it. Like you said, you even agreed with me. You're like, well, once you bring size into it, well, I guess it makes sense. Well, no shit. 4 chair shots from Brock Lesnar equal what? 8 from Dolph Ziggler?
Depending on where you land them.
But you see my point, right? Like, now, again, if we're doing the same chair shots,
but
are going.
You going back? They were not the same chair shots.
But I'm okay. I'm done trying to prove my point.
Well, the bottom line is
Seth broke a chair over Seth Rollins' back.
Yeah, like
to the point where just hitting him with a flat end of a chair started cutting him because it started to break apart and become sharp.
After an F5 on the outside, an F5 on the inside,
and 3 German suplexes.
Yeah, 3 German suplexes and
a dick kick.
Okay, so would you rather get beat down by Dolph Ziggler or get kicked in the dick by Brock Lesnar, get an F5, I think it was like 4 Germans, then get an F5 on the outside, and then get beat down with the chair? Or would you rather take 1 chair shot to the throat?
Speaking of dicks, Smitty's Meat's going to be on sale for $69.95 this Father's Day.
I love that you're doing it like right mid-conversation, too. This is awesome.
My point is, like, the physicality of Ziggler's beatdown was more intense than what, like...
But it's more believable that Brock Lesnar breaking a chair over Seth Rollins' back makes him leave on a stretcher than, say, Kofi Kingston taking the throat shot with the chair.
It's not
because
that's like he took back shots too. He took super kicks. He took he took way more physical abuse. Seth was just tossed around and hit with a chair.
You know,
in comparison,
I just realized that I'm not going to win this argument because Kofi's black and Brock is white.
That's a physicality. No, my point is the physicality of both beatdowns in general. So would you rather get tossed around, or would you rather get the shit beat out of you, like punched and kicked and take the shots with the chair and get hit in the throat with a chair? What do you think is going to hurt you more, getting tossed or getting actually hit with some? Okay, a man actually hitting you.
If we're talking like real life scenarios, I'd rather try and fight Dolph Ziggler than Brock Lesnar. With a chair, without a chair, with the throat, without a throat, it doesn't matter.
At this point, now you're trying to describe, let's say, the physicality of getting tossed or getting hit.
First of all, I've always been trying to discredit what you're saying.
You guys are still talking about this? Jesus Christ.
Here's
getting offended.
A good way to settle this, maybe we'll put a post up on Facebook and a poll and run the poll for like a day or two. Who got the worst beatdown? And we'll let our fans decide, and we'll talk about it next week. Briefly.
Right. So, yeah, all 5 fans are going to vote on it, and you're going to be wrong.
What do you mean? The 4 guys on the show and myself?
Right, so you're wrong. It's real simple.
Well, I always like trying to make me wrong, so fuck it.
One of the low points. I'm going to talk about this low point about Raw. I was not a fan.
The low point of Raw.
The one that I can pick right now. Lacey and Charlotte, I was not a fan of that match.
Everything they did with the women on Raw and SmackDown was just terrible.
They had no chemistry. There was a few botches that were plain as fucking day. Like, Jesus fuck.
The diluted storyline between all the women involved in both Becky and that's Becky's storyline and Alexa's storyline is all kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Those are actually, I'm glad you said that because I only saw 2 good points from Raw. Cesaro and Ricochet, and the fact that what's that?
I say R-Truth.
Well, no, because all they did was replay the clip from online.
No, when after the beatdown, when he pulled out the table and Truth was there.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny.
I don't think I saw that.
Oh, he pulled the table.
He pulled the table out.
Under the ring.
After Ricochet wins, Cesaro starts beating down Ricochet. He goes for a table, and he pulls out the table. Truth is like laying on the table because that's where he's been hiding the whole show.
No, okay, I do
that was
remember
actually
that.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, okay. So 3 things then. The fact that Alexa Bliss might actually wrestle again.
Well, she did.
Does on SmackDown.
Yeah, well, she was in her gear on SmackDown. Dude, she got physical on Raw. They wouldn't let her do that if she wasn't clear.
Right, that's my point. So that, the Ricochet and Cesaro match, even though they're going to play this one out for me, but I still like watching it. And then, the R-Truth thing was kind of funny. Beyond that, I got nothing.
Well, in the fight, did you see Firefly Funhouse?
Okay. So 4 things.
Do the Muscle Man dance.
So my future mother-in-law was over, and that came.
Your future ex-mother-in-law.
However you want to describe it. That came on, and she's a bit of a plant head. So
a tree hugger.
Yeah, she's a tree hugger. So we're watching it, and she's like. At first she's like all into it. I mean, she watches Raw now because of me. And I'm sorry, Kathy.
You should be sorry.
But, same thing with my mother-in-law too. So,
but she's like what was it? Like 45 seconds in, she's like, "What the fuck are we watching?" And I was like, the most amazing thing I've seen so far because goddamn, it was good.
It was entertaining.
You're yowie wowie.
So this brings me back to the Mox interview. Mm-hmm. Clearly, Bray Wyatt has been handed shit for years.
He's Rotunda. That's what they do in this company.
So, yeah, but I mean, he is definitely one to get over. Oh,
cheat?
Wait, you want me to do the Pee Wee Herman thing? Like what does he get away? Like,
are you sure this whole thing isn't Bray's idea?
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
I hear
because there's no way this can be creative because it's too goddamn creative.
I hear Undertaker's having a lot of influence on what they're doing with Bray Wyatt right now, and his storyline and the future plans.
You are totally lying because Mark Calloway is written all over this muscle man dance.
I've seen that, and then he's thrown out plans for him to do a streak more like similar to what he had with WrestleMania, just not.
Well, he's already got 3 losses at Mania already.
Bray lost 165 matches with 2 wins and then got a title shot. So what kind of streak are you going to have Bray Wyatt do at this point?
I've seen a few
they've already done that with Kurt Hawkins.
Or are we going to do the new Bray Wyatt? The new Bray Wyatt is undefeated at.
Sure.
That's what I think about that.
Actually, I could be wrong, but they could do it at Money in the Bank. I think Bray Wyatt has gone over at every Money in the Bank.
Well, he's won at Money in the Bank, but last it was one he actually.
How do you just have that stat at the tip of your tongue?
I know random.
I mean,
shit.
really,
I can spitball.
Just about any when he performed at the last Money in the Bank was when he stopped Roman from grabbing the case.
No, because literally he's lost at every. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, you see the gears grinding in my head, but
you know what really grinds my gear?
So what was that stat you said again?
I think Bray Wyatt is undefeated at Money in the Bank. Mikey, look it up.
I know he's got a 1 win in Elimination Chamber that counted.
No.
No.
Well,
I got the polls up, by the way.
What's that?
He's got the poll up, and he's already voted on it, probably.
Those are already Twitter and Facebook.
Bam, pow. Yeah, Firefly Funhouse definitely, and I don't see that ending for a while. I don't think they're not gonna bring him back for a while. It's doing too well for them.
I have a question. Part of my interruption. I apologize, Joe. You said that when they finally introduced Bray Wyatt's other character, that you would be upset with the Firefly Funhouse if it went back to how it started. How do you feel about the Firefly Funhouse now? Because it's still technically mostly how it started.
I mean, it's to me, it's not my cup of tea. I laugh.
Tickle butt.
Yeah, it's tickle butt. I crack a chuckle at it here and there, but really, like, before you called in, I was talking about how I was watching this past Raw with some casual, like, non-regular wrestling fans. And let me tell you, while that segment came on, it was pretty hard not to be embarrassed. Like, especially when these people, like, my friends were like, what the fuck are you watching right now? And I'm like, I don't have an explanation for him. Like, it's
supposed to be a Jekyll Hyde type thing.
But that's the whole.
Hyde.
No, and we all get that, but that's
and I was laughing at the Huskus thing and the McMahon Devil because I'm an insider. I get, but nobody else, like, they didn't get that. I had to explain that to them, but I thought that was funny. But like, there's probably like 7 out of 10 people that don't get that little joke.
Okay, so let's go back to: do you think that's Bray or do you think that's creative?
That's what I don't know, because it actually kind of seems like a Bray thing.
Doesn't it? But at the same time, like, as Mox was saying, everything has to go through Vince. So Vince has
maybe Bray's just making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
But at the same time, Vince could be like, well, you know, they're portraying me, either Mox is portraying me to be the devil, so bring me in as the devil.
I could see Vince saying that.
Bray is 2-0 at SummerSlam, by the way.
2-0 at SummerSlam.
What's
so
the
he's going to
Mania?
return at SummerSlam and be 3-0.
Yep.
Now,
Mania, he's lost 3.
He's over, right?
Over 3.
Has he never won at Money in the Bank? I knew it was a summer pay-per-view, okay?
Yeah.
So, Joe, you said the Huskus thing you got, but not a lot of other people got because you've been watching it for so long, right?
Well, I would just say, like, some casual fans are not going to get that.
Right. Yeah, anybody that doesn't know Husky Harris won't get the Husker part.
And that was a long time ago. Now
that was the original Nexus.
That was the original NXT episode.
Well, let me ask you this then. So if you go to a movie, right, and it's like, okay, when we watch movies when we were kids, and then we watch them again as we're adults, we catch a lot more shit that we did not notice the first time because some of those kids' movies are partially directed, so have jokes directed for adults to get as well.
Same
This
goes with
way,
TV shows.
Yeah, Broncos Modern Life.
There's a situation where no matter
Married with
who's
Children.
watching it,
Dude,
you're going to find some
They
entertainment.
did a Game of Thrones sketch on Sesame Street. They did.
They did a Game of Thrones sketch on the Edge and Christian show.
Sorry, Mikey, go ahead.
But what I'm saying is that everything about this it's not supposed to be fully entertaining for one demographic. It's supposed to be entertaining at parts for every demographic. So everyone.
So is
watching it
every
can walk
aspect
away
of
from
every
it
wrestling
finding-
show.
But that's what I'm saying. Is so you're saying that you can't
No.
make the
What I'm
argument-
saying is, when I'm watching this with casual wrestling fans, you know how they always say, if you wanted to convert a non-fan into a fan, what would you show them?
Brett Nolan, WrestleMania.
Well, this would be the exact opposite of what I would show them.
No, see, I disagree because that depends what their cup of tea is. Now, if I was going to show them this, I would have to show them everything from the beginning so they understood it. But
so if I want to show them this, I got to show them like 8 years worth of material.
No. Whatever.
Where Firefly Funhouse started.
Yeah.
From,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going all the way
if
back
they're
to
like,
Husky Harris and stuff.
No. Like, what the fuck is this? All right, this is how it started, and I mean that's how I got into wrestling. I didn't start at the beginning. I jumped in and was like, "Oh, this is really cool.
Well,
this is really cool." You
Abraham
should check this."
Lincoln used to be a wrestler, so I doubt you started at the beginning.
My point is, I didn't even start at the beginning of Coliseum video. I started watching wrestling in '91 and loved Shawn Michaels and was like, oh, and my neighbor who had been watching it with his dad since he's been born was like, oh, you really like this? Go check this out. Go check that out. Da da da. Now I'm a fucking fan. I mean, like that's how I started, and that's how I know all my history. Like, I went back and
Coliseum videos. I've been watching wrestling since you've been shitting yellow. Boy.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's when fucking Hulk and Andre went at it. So I believe it.
Before that, then. I know. All right.
You're old.
All right.
Well,
Smitty meats.
So we can all agree that, with Firefly Funhouse, I think for me to show that to somebody, I think you got to kind of play to the viewer. If they're like a big Adult Swim fan, I think that kind of plays into when you look at like Tim and Eric.
That's an interesting look on it.
Like Tim and Eric, the awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
show,
if they like stuff like
that.
Mr. Show and Monty Python and stuff, they'll like that.
But okay, sorry. Mikey said this plays to a lot of different demographics. I don't think it does.
Yeah,
this isn't something I would
don't
show
either.
kids. Like, kids don't get it. Where this kind
People
of
know, parents complain about
this
it.
kind of plays to your smarky audience, like Joe was saying, that knows Husky Harris. But it is also something that other people can get into. Like, oh, what's this? This is different. Like, what's he supposed to be, Mr. Rogers? Oh, what the fuck is that? Like, other people can buy into it, but I don't think this is directed for every demographic. I think this is directed at like the smarky demographic, and it kind of like trickles off into other things.
But it also targets an older demographic in general because kids don't know what the fuck Pee-wee's Playhouse
Well,
or
I think
shit
too,
like that.
people that have been watching it for
My
a long
non-wrestling
time.
friends thought it was stupid.
People.
Well,
that
your
have been-
non-wrestling friends are stupid. They don't watch wrestling.
We're actually part of a very small percentage of the population, in case you haven't
Well,
noticed.
fuck the rest of the population.
Fair
Tell them
enough.
to suck on Smitty's meats.
$69.95.
What a great segue that was. Speaking of
Father's
Smitty's
Day special.
Speaking of Smitty's meats.
No, maybe you can't afford the $69.95 package.
Get the smoked meat.
He's
It's
got
half off.
smaller meats for you. They're like Hunter sausages, only like minis. And you can get those for the small price of $9.99.
Call now and you get 10 free sausage pancakes.
Smitty will even cook them for you. We will give him to you to cook them for you.
So you guys talked a little bit about when we first started talking Raw and SmackDown about Goldberg and Taker coming into the ring, taking 10 minutes between the lights dipping and the lights coming back
What did
on
you
and-
think of Taker's promo on Raw, real quick?
I thought it was typical.
Same
typical
bullshit he's been doing for years.
same
Well,
shit
a
he
lot of
comes out
people
and says.
shit all over it like it was the worst
This
thing in
was
the
nonsense.
world.
No, it definitely wasn't.
Wait,
And then I watched it.
Wait, are you about to stick up for Taker?
Well, no, because I never watched anything live, and like the hoopla online was like it was like the most embarrassing, worst, awkward promo ever.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, I'm just saying
Some of it was nonsensical.
what I was reading before I watched it, and that's what I was. They cut him off mid-sentence at the end, and then I watched it. I was like, well, God, it wasn't that terrible.
Wait,
like,
they cut him off mid-sentence? Was he on the Wade
no,
Keller
that's what
report?
I
don't think they
right.
cut him
Yeah,
off. It just
was it John Moxley in mid-sentence explaining like a really fucking captivating
Well,
story?
Lowe's is having a sale for $9.99, and then 10 minutes of that, and then you go back. Like,
Just Smitty's Meats.
Well, no, and they did cut him off abruptly at the end, but he had finished his sentence.
He said
had
what he
finished
was
his
saying.
Thought. It was done.
But did you notice like most of those ads,
he
like
didn't finish.
he's in the middle of a word, and they cut. It's not like they let him complete a sentence.
No, he
or-
said you're next, and then they cut.
Yeah, you're next.
Oh, you're
Done.
talking about
Yeah,
Goldberg.
that wasn't the
No,
end
I'm
of it.
talking about
Taker.
Taker. On Raw, he said
Yeah,
you're
that wasn't
next,
the
and
end
then
of
they
the
cut.
sentence. Yeah. that
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
the end of
because
the
the little writing came up and the part of the
Yeah.
screen.
So I thought that was
No,
like a
it wasn't
good
the end of the sentence.
stopping point. I don't know.
Well,
All the
he
shit I
said
read
you're
online, I
next
didn't
to
think it was as
rest in
bad as people were making out to be. Is all I'm saying.
Well, the way I took it, when he said you're next, and then Goldberg the next night said rest in peace, they each ended their promo with the other person.
I get it. Wow, well, that's so clever.
So
I know, like, you have to be so intelligent to figure that out.
But I am with Mikey on this. Goldberg's entrance without pyro is not an entrance.
yes,
same. You
Yeah.
can say the same thing about Brock Lesnar, especially when he like slams his arm down
Yeah.
and like looks around like, oh wait,
There's
I don't
no
have
boom.
pyro anymore.
No, that's fine. But like Goldberg, like literally, he comes out and
Breathes in the smoke.
Yeah, he
and breathes it
inhales the
back
smoke,
out
blows it back out. That's fucking sweet.
like
Yeah.
a fucking dragon.
Yeah, that's fucking sweet. I don't know why they'd take that away from him. If they're gonna spend all that fucking money to take him to fucking Saudi Arabia,
I think better be some fucking.
they
there's
can't
gonna be pyro.
even. That's where they choose to cheap out on his entrance. Like, really?
So, Joe, how did you feel when you saw these two standing face to face in the ring? Was there any part of
You're
you
asking the wrong guy.
Hey, you got to do it. Was there any part of you at all that was like, been a long time coming, and then you got over it real quick, or
No, because if you want to talk about long time coming stuff and you want to go back to the wars, everyone wanted to see Sting versus Taker and Goldberg versus Austin.
Sure.
Yep.
So no, it's really not a long time coming.
Yeah.
At all. It's like no one actually ever even thought about this until now. Really, honestly.
It is literally like they don't use Austin. You can't use Sting. This is the best thing they could come
They
up
could
with.
use Sting if they wanted to. They don't want to.
This is not the best thing. And
No, this is what they think is the best thing they could come up with.
That's fine. But again, going back to the Moxley interview, if you do Taker versus somebody else and Goldberg versus Lashley, it keeps these guys relevant.
Sure.
When you do them versus each other, it's like, oh, sweet, 95 called.
yeah,
So like,
Why would you want them? Why would you want Lashley to fight either of them? Lashley would lose.
Lashley's gonna lose a Strowman, so
right, but I'm going with what Mox said on the interview, where he's like, well,
I'm looking
if
at Lashley
you-
and Goldberg
if
as
you-
two similar body types. They're badasses.
right.
Like,
And
to me, that could be a good one-off. I'm not saying to make like a 6-month-long program out of it.
But see, even Joe likes it. That never happens.
and it's a Jeddah show. It's nothing that's gonna carry over. Besides, only thing that ever carried off from one of those Saudi Arabia shows is the shaming man, best in the world bullshit.
Lashley's already fucked anyway. I mean, they've destroyed his character in his first run, and they're not doing much better on his second.
It was a little better. This week.
Not really.
No, no, that was like I agree with
He
you.
actually
That was
got to do the
tickle butt.
Dominator.
I'm still concentrating on his glutes that Leo Rush used to point out every week. Anyway,
the Almighty.
moving on.
So, Super Showdown on Friday. Nobody's gonna watch this thing.
No, I have a life and I gotta work and
Yeah.
stuff. You know, like
Makes sense.
For once, I'm glad I got to close work at work.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it.
Well, it'll be on at 2 in the afternoon.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I can watch it.
Yep. Ride home from work. Got it.
so. Instead of watching Price is Right, you can tune into something less entertaining.
And then flip back to Family Feud and then watch the rest of it later. It's
There
great.
you go.
I'll probably put on Ellen, but no, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Ellen might be better than this show.
So with that comment, now I see why you're talking so much about Smitty's Meats.
Why? Ellen doesn't like the meats.
I know.
I
Have
did.
you ever watched The Family Guy where like it's just fish coming out of her mouth? So yeah, I know.
I did see something today before I left work that Natalya and Alexa Bliss
have
are
been flown out.
apparently no, they're apparently making the trip to Saudi Arabia, and there's rumors they could have a match, even though
women are not allowed to perform out there.
right.
Well, no, the last two that had
Wouldn't
a
that
match,
be something? They just got like shot by AK-47s right in the middle of the ring.
That's the way to get rid of. That's the way to stop the deal.
Now,
I guess that didn't go wrong.
Who was it that had a match? It was Sasha and who?
Sasha and Bailey had a match.
Yeah, but they were neck down, fully clothed.
And not in Saudi Arabia. They were in
Jeddah.
Dubai. They were in Dubai.
Dubai.
Yeah,
because they're going
they were in bodysuits from the neck down.
They're going to Jeddah this time though.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes a difference. I'm not.
I don't know either. I don't know what the law is over there as far as all that goes.
And then I saw a picture of the stage, and it looks exactly the fucking same as WrestleMania. Just the screen isn't curved.
Well, now,
yeah, you know,
now
it's going to be the equivalent to WrestleMania or better.
No. They stopped doing the or better. They just start
the equivalent.
Yeah, that's what they started saying now.
That alone should make you want to watch it,
dude. Marketing 101 would tell you not to have that approach. Like,
this is still be the biggest thing. It's
dude,
your biggest show.
That's like one of the first things I've learned, like as being a salesman when I was 22 years old, is to not have an approach like that.
Yeah.
Like, but here's your, as Moxley pointed out, here's your fucking genius, McMahon, with his fucking genius marketing game, equivalent to WrestleMania.
Say this is going to be just as big as our biggest show of the year.
Way to devalue the fucking show that like literally defined your fucking brand. Way to just shit on that. You know, the past 36 years of what made your company. You know, but that's cool. You know,
can the XFL just start and fail again? So
no, succeed.
It's got to be successful.
Succeed.
It's got to be successful.
Let it kill the NFL. Let it just blossom and bloom into the greatest foosball league of all time. And
Paul Levesque takes over.
He hate me's jerseys number will be hanging up in the domes for years to come.
The McMahon Lombardi trophy.
They're counting on Smitty's Meat sponsorship. I mean, for fuck's sake.
Now look, my meat goes a lot of places, but not there.
That was pretty good, actually.
And just like in real life, Smitty's meats come unwrapped.
And hot.
That's not true.
Make sure you cook them fully.
Don't worry about
something.
Don't worry about the bumps. They go away.
But then they come back.
But then they go away.
But then they come back again.
And then they come back. Then
Smitty's meats are 100% disease free.
Hey, calm down. They're peppercorns.
Smitty's meats are 100% disease free.
The Colonel's 11 secret spices.
We'll send you a special ointment to dissolve the pepper.
We mean marinade.
Call now, get a second tube free.
Wrestle on tube steak.
The last thing I want to talk about, just real quick, Breaking Down the Ring is doing another event at Buffalo Wild Wings for Stomping Grounds, June 23rd, 7 o'clock. Buffalo Wild Wings, downtown Detroit, 1218 Randolph Street. We're going to be there. It's not going to be a huge event like our WrestleMania bash, but we're going to be
way to hype it
up. Well, I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean?
The last one for Money in the Bank wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our own little section.
Corner, the whole corner of the bar was ours, pretty much.
Well, yeah, but I was like about 14, 20 people or whatever. But that's for a non-event kind of thing.
We're going to be there with the Knockouts and 3 Counts podcast, right? They're going to
doing a damn thing.
Watch the pay-per-view for free. I mean, fuck, you can't beat that.
Well, yeah, especially when you get wings and stuff too.
Right.
Fucking
do it.
It's good beverages.
And it's better than Smitty's Meats.
Well,
see, how you going to endorse something and try to bury the product, you dumbass?
I have not been endorsing it. I've been burying it this whole time. Let's get it right.
It's a bold statement. But I think that's it. I think we're good. We've hit all the low points of Raw and everything else in between. So,
SmackDown wasn't even worth mentioning.
The last segment, the lights on, lights off. We covered enough. What we wanted to cover with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That is literally the only thing I watched on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like, dude, before you got here, I was saying, like, I watched, like, the first 20 to 30 minutes of SmackDown, and then I was, like, needing to come here. So I just literally skipped the whole, like, middle and went to the last segment.
Yeah.
So
and that's all I saw. So I saw the first 20 and, the last 10.
Me and Nick are in that weight loss competition. So I've been going to... today actually marks the 7th day in a row that I've been to the gym.
Nice.
For the first time in a long fucking
Wow.
time.
You can't out-train a bad diet, Z.
So that's fine, but I can keep it at bay.
I like your style.
But
I like your moves.
So I went to the gym. Like, I fell asleep on the couch. My fiance woke me up when she got home, and I went right to the gym as soon as I got up, in the middle of SmackDown. So when
it must have been so hard to walk away from that.
No, when I tuned in, it was the last like 7 minutes, and I have it recorded on Hulu, so it like takes me back to the beginning, and I went, nope, take me to live. All right, I watched Goldberg come out. I watched the lights go on, the lights go off. All right, I'm good. I didn't even feel the need to watch anything else. Did I miss anything?
The women's triple threat match was all right.
The only thing I really was worried about was, did anything happen with the 24/7 championship?
Elias won it, and then Truth won it back under the ring.
Yep.
Also, same as last week.
Yep,
so
but
we did
it was
the same.
different.
They
So we
went
did the
under
same
the
exact
ring.
thing last week.
So it was a lumberjack. So lumberjack match, Truth and Elias. Elias rolls up Truth in like 4 minutes or something, 4 or 5 minutes. When the 24-hour rules go back into effect, everybody starts jumping Elias. Elias escapes the ring.
Go
goes
back.
under the
When
ring.
is it not in effect?
When
is the
Shane,
match?
When Shane McMahon makes some bullshit.
So Shane McMahon made this whole rule about 24-hour.
Only for Elias.
It was only for Elias.
Yeah, it's only for Elias.
Okay, so after Elias wins, the whole crew, like everybody, all the lumberjacks jump in. He rolls under the ring, and next thing you know, you hear the bell ring.
I really
and Truth comes back out with the
overcomplicate
title.
wrestling these days.
I know. I will say this though: when this championship first came out,
Nobody gave a shit.
I was not a fan, and R-Truth made me a fan. Like he does with most of the shit.
He's good at that.
Well, again, going back to the Mox interview, he goes, R-Truth is happy as fuck.
Yeah.
You give him anything, he's like, all right, I got
fucking
this.
do it. Yep.
But honestly, like right now, he's like the longest reigning and the
Three-time.
Yep.
3-time.
4-time because
He lost it to
on the
Ginger.
golf
He
course.
lost it twice to Elias.
Yeah, so 3.
Plus the original time he won it.
So 4, yeah. 4-time.
And I think he lost it somewhere else in there too.
No, he
But
didn't.
but I'm just saying he's a 4-time champ. He's had the longest reign. And honestly, who else do you really want to see as your 24 champion right now?
Maybe Drake Maverick, but not now.
But only for a second till Truth wins it back.
I think he
Speaking
has.
of which, where the fuck are the authors of pain?
Well, the one was injured.
Yeah, he's injured.
Yeah, Razor was.
Oh,
I
injured.
think
so
he's-
first
no,
it was
but
a visa problem. Now
No,
he's
I
injured?
think he's getting ready to come back though. But I mean, dude,
Yeah.
when they took fucking Paul Ellering away from that team,
They took everything away from
They
him.
fucked that team.
I don't understand that at all. And then it's not like they gave Paul Ellering another team in NXT. Like he's just been off TV.
No, and then we were all. I mean, this is now we're sidecasting, but real quick,
we
were speculating like, was it Paul that wanted to go off the road or was it them? And then we found out it was them that took him off the road, and then that was just like it was like, well, you guys just killed
screwed
AOP.
Uh-huh.
Yep, like so. All you had to do was leave Ellering with him.
That mic is off, Z, you retard.
Second time tonight. We love you. You're awesome. We love you.
Oh, wow. I realized I just called him a retard.
It's one of the many things you'll hear on Breaking Down the Ring.
Political incorrectness, racism, sexism,
social. I gotta say, socially unapologetic,
And hot meat.
politically incorrect, and damn proud of it.
But
My next T-shirt.
You know, to go back to what
that's
you
what
were,
makes us us.
what you were saying, Joe, about the Undertaker Goldberg thing, there were some fans out in the crowd trying to get a holy shit chant started. Didn't quite catch on. So some of these, you know, like you guys.
So was it a
described,
moment for you guys? Was it a cool moment? Was it
for about 1 second?
I yawned.
For about 1 second.
So it wasn't even a moment.
No.
It was less than a moment.
Yeah.
All right.
What are we talking about?
Nothing more.
The last segment in SmackDown still.
about how if it was or wasn't a moment for some people to see those two, and I told him I was like, for about a second it was, and then it was like,
I've honestly, I think I'm the second veteran here, other than Joe, and I've never wanted to see this match.
No,
ever.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
you agree with me.
Yeah,
it's a yawn.
You want to see Goldberg Austin, you want to see Sting Taker.
Yep,
that's what you want to see.
I don't even necessarily want to see Goldberg Austin. Only because they're so...
You used to.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, fanboy-wise, absolutely. But
well,
now
they're going for the
like,
nostalgia thing. With They're creating nostalgia with this match where there never was any.
Yeah, none.
Two opposite sides of the spectrum.
Good point.
But, and I'm going to make my point again. Lashley versus Goldberg, like, I mean, that doesn't mean Lashley's going over, but that's a matchup I could.
It's a formula that's always worked. Old guy giving the young guy a rub.
Especially like
Lashley's in his 40s. He's not even that fucking young.
Well, but if they're gonna keep Goldberg around for a minute, like
no, he'll be around for like a one-off like this. You know, they pay him enough, he'll show up.
It's him. It's like him. He's got the same shit like Taker does. Pretty much, you come in when we need you, or when we want you if you're available.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Again, why not?
Or we'll ask you when we really need to. We think we need to rely on you, and we'll throw you a fat ass check, and you'll say yes.
At this point in either one of their careers, we don't expect them to win. So why not put younger talent that's on the verge?
So who's winning this match?
I have no idea.
It's Taker.
Taker.
Yeah.
This is a reminder who won the wars.
Then
Vince will not let Taker lose to Goldberg. Are you fucking kidding me?
He didn't let Triple H lose to him. He didn't let.
Hey.
He wrote Goldberg a big enough check to lay down for Taker.
I don't know if you, going back to my random stats, since they've done the Saudi show with Taker, he's lost every match.
But Vince is still stuck in the year 1999. This is still in his feeble mind.
But it's 2019.
His fucking dementia mind.
You're more likely to make money off of a Jack Goldberg at 50 years old.
Vince don't give a fuck about when has he proven in the past 3 years or 5 or 10 years that he gives a fuck about what makes sense.
He's still a WCW
He's still
guy.
stuck in 2000. He is not going to let WCW Goldberg beat WWE. It's not going to happen.
But Mark Calloway was WCW.
All right, that's the end of the show.
We done?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
You're retarded.
Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Mike, you'll be back next week if he's lucky.
Thank God we fucking took this thing off the rails.
Fuck, man. All right, we're
Best show ever.
We're your ring crew.
Mikey,
the retard Z.
Yeah, I was picking up on it.
Shitty Smitty.
God damn it! I have to come back now.
And I am Snick.
Joe, the whole fucking Joe.
Snick.
The whole fucking Snickers
The whole
bar?
fucking
The whole
Snick.
fucking Snickers bar.
The whole fucking Snick brought to you by Smitty's Meats. And with that, we are out.